NFL Week 10 was genuinely bonkers. So many banger games. I don't even know where to start on this one. Let's yap, gentlemen. Okay, why don't we start here? I mean, there's so many games we could start with. The Miami Dolphins didn't just upset the Buffalo Bills. They clapped the Buffalo Bills. Now, remember last week when I was like, Josh Allen just took over in MVP voting? Well, that same Josh Allen just got smacked by the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins, outside of the Jets and the Titans, have been the laughing stock of the NFL, and they put on a kind of a clinic. I think the next thing I want to talk about with this game is Mike McDaniels. Is he still on the hot seat? I mean, you're 3-7, yeah, he's on the hot seat, but gosh, this is a really good performance. Devon Achane has set his season high with 174 rushing yards. His previous season high was 128. He's looked really good. Devon Achane managers are geeked up about this. I mean, Josh Allen statistically still has a good game, so for MVP odds, you know, it is what it is. But Devon Achane did not expect this at all. 22 carries, 174 yards, 8 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. I think it is interesting with Miami. You know, they got rid of Jalen Phillips, so it kind of looked like they were loading up and rebuilding, and then they got here and they have this really good game, which reminds me a lot of the Jets, who kind of did the same thing, but we'll get to that later. I'm not worried for the Bills. Any given Sunday is the best piece of advice in the National Football League. Any given Sunday, your good team can lose to a poverty franchise. And that's what's happening right here. This has been the most exciting year of NFL since I started legitimately watching. I started legitimately watching the NFL probably in 2019, maybe 2018. But prior to that, I know you guys can't believe this, but I didn't even give a shit about football, bro. I liked soccer. That's why I was a kicker. I liked NBA basketball, and I did not care about the National Football League. Then I started playing Madden Mobile, and I was like, hey, this is kind of my job now. Maybe I should lock in. Now I'm obsessed. I quickly just became obsessed. It's just crazy to see. Bills, Dolphins, bad loss for the Bills. I don't think it's a testament to their whole season. I think that shit can just happen. Let's talk about this one. The New York Giants. When they have a 10-point lead late in the game, they are 0-4. How crazy is that shit? The New York Giants have consistently been leading in games. Their record, very realistically, should be much, much higher. I really don't want to shit talk the Giants because not only is it not a very talented roster, they're starting a rookie quarterback, but also their franchise wide receiver is out. Cam Scattaboo is out. I think the biggest thing for the Giants that you can shit on is their defense. Their defense is way too loaded to suck this bad. Their defensive coordinator is absolutely failing this team. Jackson Dart is doing more than enough. He's doing more than he should be doing. I mean, this roster offensively is not talented at all. It's just not. I love Jackson Dart. I hope he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. This guy should not be carrying your team right now. This defense should be carrying the team. You should expect very little out of your offense. But when the offense, when this Giants offense is putting up 34, 32, 20, 24, that's like shockingly impressive for them. And the defense is letting them down. Caleb Williams looked really good. I love Caleb Williams still. I'm so happy for him. Rome Odunze with a good bounce back game. My fantasy team is very happy about this because Odunze and the Bears put up a ridiculous performance last week, and this guy had bricks for hands and couldn't catch shit. So I was excited to see him once again look good. He's been inconsistent. Very inconsistent wide receiver for them. But guess what? They actually have a lot of talent on offense now. Luther Burden out of Mizzou. Colson Loveland out of the University of Michigan. Cole Kmet, let's not forget about him. He's still kind of solid. They have, 2 solid tight ends. I do feel bad for Cole Kmet. It seems like they've moved on past him and on to Colson Loveland when I think both of them are good. I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears tried to get some value out of Cole Kmet. Same thing for the Raiders. I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to get some value out of Michael Mayer because Brock Bowers is clearly the GOAT, but they spent a pretty high draft pick on Michael Mayer in what was 2020, I believe. Let's keep going. Indianapolis Colts, Atlanta Falcons. Oh my God. I need to issue something. I need to issue something right now before we even talk about this game. This was my partner pack on Underdog. You take a look at this pick, and you say, Matt, are you actually being paid by Underdog to put out the shittiest bet you've ever seen in your entire life? Jonathan Taylor under. James Cook under is the only one that hit, and then this is Daniel Jones passing yards under, which also did not hit. I just would like to say that normally me and Shane make my Underdog picks. We feel good about something, and we place it. It's almost always two popular players, and they're over. I was out of town. I was not available to make this, but I still needed to make it, so one of my managers made this pick, and I am not kidding. I flamed the fuck out of him the day before this posted. Saturday night, I have the receipts on my phone. If you tailed this and can provide me proof, I will personally refund you. I am not kidding whatsoever. If you can provide me proof to my Instagram DMs that you tailed this pick, I will personally refund you. And it's like, I kind of feel like a dick. He was being a good guy. I was out of town. I should have handled this beforehand. The picks weren't live before I left. That's on me. That's my fault. But I need to prove that this is real. I said, that Underdog bet is absolute insanity. Let's keep it simple. He said, are they not popular enough? I said, bro, I've never had so many people DM me and call me the R word. Part of my language, by the way, that's what people were saying to me in my DMs. I wasn't... You get what I'm saying. Now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about this banger of a game. Atlanta Falcons, Indianapolis Colts. It's interesting. During regular time, this was a very uneventful game. It kind of just seemed like, okay, it's ugly, and then the fourth quarter started, and it was like, whoa, we're playing ball all of a sudden. 20 points scored in the fourth quarter, and in overtime, the Indianapolis Colts win it. I think the testament for good teams is winning close games and consistently winning close games. One thing that concerns me is when a team can only win in blowouts. I was actually kind of concerned me about the Detroit Lions, my own team last year. When we were playing with a 14-point lead, we were the best team in the league. We're calling all these wicked plays. We're putting up bonkers numbers. But then when these close games would come down to it, we would fall apart. Well, the Indianapolis Colts, despite coming off a pretty tough loss last week, they win this close game in overtime. If you had the yippies about the Colts from last week, I no longer have it. And the Atlanta Falcons, to me, they're a very solid, shitty team, if that makes sense. Win-loss record-wise, they're pretty far down there, but the Falcons are I really like the Falcons defensively. Michael Penix has been streaky, and he wasn't great in this game. So I still really like the Falcons. That's all I'm saying. Bijan this was like the matchup of like the two dominant running backs outside of like Jahmyr Gibbs and Saquon Barkley. These two are the guys. And Bijan didn't look that great. He did split some carries here with Tyler Algier, which Jonathan Taylor didn't do. But why would you ever split carries when Jonathan Taylor goes 32 attempts, 244 yards, and 3 touchdowns? He set his season high with 244. His previous was 165. He also had his most rushing attempts. And Tyler Warren set his career high with 8 receptions. Sorry, I had that a little bit blocked by my face cam, but pretty crazy stats. Colts are looking incredible. Falcons just couldn't get it going. How does Jonathan Taylor not win Offensive Player of the Year now? There's 2 ways. Jackson Smith-Njigba has a chance, although despite the Seahawks putting up 40 in an incredible defensive game, he really didn't have that crazy of stats. And then Puka Nacua is technically back, but he got semi-injured at the end of that game. It's kind of cool to have Offensive Player of the Year be a very legitimate race. Jonathan Taylor is certainly in the lead. After this disgusting game, he's certainly in the lead. Here's what I think's so crazy about Jonathan Taylor. If he did 33% of this, he would be like an excellent running back still. If you did 33% of this stat line, so if he had only 90 yards and a touchdown, I'd be like, that's a banger fucking game. If he had 10 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown, what a banger game. If you double that, and he had 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, well, that's still a banger game. Now you triple it. He's got 250 and 3. Unbelievable. On top of that, he has 40 yards and 3 receptions. If he's on your fantasy team, you better send that guy a nice, kind DM. We're so quick to hate on these athletes when they have a shitty game. Why don't we send them a nice DM? Thank you, Jonathan Taylor, for carrying my fantasy team. Tyler Warren looked great. The Colts all around looked great. Daniel Jones, once again, efficient. That's like the name of the game with Daniel Jones, efficiency. 73% completion, 255. If he doesn't play like that, they suck ass. That was last week when he was inefficient, kind of a turnover machine. But, dude, the Colts are so fucking good. Colts are so good. AFC is scary as shit, dude. I would not want to be in the AFC playoffs. Saints, Panthers. The Panthers are a total enigma, bro. Total enigma. This Panthers team just beat the Green Bay Packers, who have one of the best defenses in the National Football League, one of the most stacked offensive rosters, and they come here at home and lose to the Saints. I have the Saints as one of the 3 worst teams in the league right now. I don't get it. Total enigma team. Rico Dowdle still looking okay, but not the ridiculous 150 yards a game Rico Dowdle. This was just an ugly game. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but positive things to say. I love Teteroa McMillan, and Chris Olave had disgusting catches, bro. Chris Olave was a freak. Let's see if I can find one of these without getting copyrighted. This is a jank-ass way to watch a highlight clip, but...
Talk about straight courage and
Chris Olave!
Understanding.
Oh.
Hey, you didn't stack on that little rail route.
It's disgusting. You know, you see really, really good wide receivers do this. They're intentionally using one hand to catch the ball so that they can use their left hand to pin the DB. So he's using his left hand to keep the DB pinned and down and off, and using his right hand to one hand catch it. Olave is nasty.
It's kind of like...
I'm not just saying that because he's on my fantasy team. I am just saying that because he's on my fantasy team. But look at this shit. Look at that. Left arm keeping the DB's dominant arm away from the football, and his right hand to one hand catch it. That shit's disgusting. I mean, yes, you'd love to see the guy go up with 2 hands, but if he goes up with 2 hands, the DB can get an arm in there. Disgusting. Looks so good. I don't want to talk a lot about this game, though, because it was relatively uneventful. Baltimore Ravens, Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings, if J.J. McCarthy throws 45%, you're not winning the game. It's just that simple. This is a young... I don't want to call it his rookie year, but he was injured for most of his rookie year, right? So his sophomore season, J.J. McCarthy. He looked damn good against the Lions. Didn't look so great here. I think one thing we got to remember is that the Baltimore Ravens are a super serious contender, and they just haven't had Lamar. Lamar's back. They're on a 3-game win streak. This Ravens team went from, 1-5 to now 4-5. And I think it's going to continue that way. I think the Ravens will make the playoffs, despite it being really ugly at the start of this season. Credit to the Vikings. It was a good game. Credit to J.J. McCarthy, because I have just literally been hating on him so much, and I do want to show a little bit of love to J.J. McCarthy. But the reality is the Ravens are really good. So I'm not going to take a lot away from the Minnesota Vikings in this game. Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans. Holy shit. What a comeback this was. What is going on in the National Football League? This was insane. 10 points out of Jacksonville. It's 20-10 at half. Jacksonville then scores another 9. You figure this game is over. And Davis Mills and the Houston Texans score 26 points in the 4th quarter. It should be mentioned that it really was 30-29. And then they got like a weird, bizarre pick 6, fumble 6 there right at the end. But in reality, Davis Mills getting it done. If you're CJ Stroud, are you scared? I mean, how many times have we heard the story of like the starting quarterback comes out or they're a little bit injured and then this like the backup ends up playing way too well? I mean, how much longer does Davis Mills have to do this before we're worried about CJ Stroud? CJ Stroud has had the worst year of his career so far. It's been crazy. Nico Collins fantasy managers are finally excited about something. 7 receptions, 136 yards. Texans, impressive game. This was more of a choke on the Jaguars. I saw a stat that the Jaguars had 2 offensive yards in the 4th quarter. I mean, what are we even doing here? Honestly, crazy. Look at this. How do you play such a good game? This is a classic game of once you're leading, teams start to play not to lose. The goal of the game is not to lose. It's to win. Or not to play not to lose, but I don't know. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They took their foot off the gas and allowed the Texans to come back because they're playing so fucking passive. They just sat there and did shitty 3-and-outs until the Texans won. It was crazy. I'd be pissed if I was a Jaguars fan. Exciting W if you're a Texans fan. Love to see it. New England Patriots, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is supposed to be a big matchup, really exciting matchup. And it was. But what I was trying to say is this was a big, big game for the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers really needed to win this game to feel like they're not cooling off. I feel like the Buccaneers were the hottest team at the start of the season, and I feel like they're cooling off. Patriots moved to 8-2. Drake May gets a W. Baker Mayfield, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Really good game. I think the story of this game was this man right here, my dynasty GOAT, my fantasy GOAT. I benched him because I'm a fucking fraud, and I didn't read the scouting report, and I didn't realize he was the starter. But even then, I don't know I would have started him because I didn't expect this out of TreVeyon Henderson. TreVeyon Henderson looked so fast. so unbelievably fast. It genuinely pisses me off that they ever had Ramondre Stevenson getting 20 carries a game when Travion Henderson was capable of this. But guess what? He's young. I get it. Travion Henderson on that final touchdown literally looked to the sideline with guys chasing him and was like, hey, should I score this? And then scored it. I need to pull that play up, actually. This is exactly what I'm talking about. He literally is moving so fast that he's just looking to his sideline. He broke away a run at the end of the game where he really could have downed himself, then they QB kneeled it. And the coaches are like, nah, fuck it, score that shit. Look at how fast he's moving. Unbelievable speed. I mean, this is just kind of an ugly pile-up. He stays on his feet. But his top-end speed has got to be one of the best for running backs in the league right now. Nobody had a chance of catching him. Look at him. He's moving so fast that he truly double-checks. He slows down, looks at his sideline, and then keeps going. That's my fantasy GOAT, bro. That's my dynasty running back right there. Sitting on my bench, understandably. Okay, I fucked it up. Travion Henderson looked amazing. 10 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Huge breakout game for him. Mac Hollins, the leading receiver over here. 106 yards, 6 receptions. Mac Hollins is famously the guy, like, it's always, like, barefoot for whatever reason. He also, you guys ever seen Mac Hollins' Instagram account? He'll just post, like, random tutorials. Like, I saw him teaching me how to use a garden hose the other day. I'm not fucking kidding. Mac Hollins literally just like, hey, if you need some help, like, tying up your garden hose, here's how you do it. Instagram reel. Kind of respect it, though. Shit's lit. Great game, though. Emeka Egbuka, 6 receptions, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Still looking amazing for Offensive Rookie of the Year. But I do want to look up the odds on this. It is genuinely a close race now. It didn't used to be a close race, but I'm telling you, dude, the quarterback bias is insane. I love Jackson Dart as much as the next guy, but Jackson Dart can lose this game to the Bears, score no touchdowns, and be still considered as heavily as Emeka Egbuka, who has 115 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown. Like, it genuinely frustrates me, but that's just how the league is, so whatever. I think this is also an unpopular opinion. A lot of people like that the quarterbacks win the awards. So, it is what it is. Please, for the love of God, don't go bet based on something that I'm saying here. I'm literally just talking about the statistics for who is slated to win it. I'm not suggesting that you bet on any of this shit. If you bet, you lose. That's how it works. I already know this. If you're betting comfortably, responsibly, and in moderation, within your limits for fun, it can be a great way to enhance football. I personally really enjoy sports betting, but if you got a problem, call the fucking line, dude. Call the fucking line. If you think you've got a lock, call the line. There's no such thing as a lock. You know what's a lock? They're going to take your money. I exist within the system. I'm a giant hypocrite, I understand. Regular season MVP. Drake May and Matthew Stafford are neck and neck after the Rams put up on a clinic. Absolute clinic. Guess who's actually close? Jonathan Taylor. Might we see a regular season MVP running back? Absolutely not. I'm sorry. This is not even conceivable to me. This is a trap. The NFL does not want this so badly. I think Jonathan Taylor would have to literally put up 2 touchdowns and 150 yards every single game from here on out to even have a chance. And that's just unrealistic. I think he's incredible and the Colts are great, but it's just too hard. I don't see it happening. I'd love to see it happen. I want it to happen. I don't see it happening. And Patrick Mahomes is 3rd. Josh Allen falling to 5th. It's so crazy how quick this switches. Take a look at Baker Mayfield, who's plus 2,500. He used to be the leader. Just 5 weeks ago, he was the #1 guy on here, and now he's not even sniffing the top 5. Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones. Sorry, Daniel Jones. They never considered you, my dog. They never really considered you. Let's keep talking about these games. Cleveland Browns, New York Jets. I gotta say, this is the battle of mid. This is the battle of who's getting the first-round draft pick, and some people will argue that both these teams were attempting to lose because they both want the higher pick. I don't think so. I don't think teams and organizations legitimately tank, especially not on the 9th game of the season. The thing with tanking is, yes, it's technically illegal, and do teams do it? Maybe, but there are so much at stake when you tank. Like, the head coach's job is at stake. The GM's, well, not the GM, really, but the head coach and every single coordinator's job is at stake. Those people do not want to lose. The players do not want to lose because that's their livelihood too, so to me, taking this early, I don't think it's a realistic thing. Justin Fields barely threw the damn football. There was a lot of defense and a lot of special team shenanigans in this game, but here's how you win when you're the Jets. Let Justin Fields only throw the ball 11 times. Sorry, I'm being a hater. Breece Hall at 83 yards. An ugly game all around, but you know what I expected? after the Jets cleaned house and Sauce Gardner leaves and Quinnen Williams leaves, what do you fucking say to your locker room? What do you say to Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson? Like, hey, by the way, the owner and the management, they've fully given up on this team. We think you guys suck ass. We're not even trying with you anymore. We're looking 4 years into the future when our draft picks will hopefully develop, and we don't give a shit about you guys. I expected them to lose this game and lose it by 1 million, even though they're playing against the Cleveland Browns. I expected them to lose this game and lose by 1 million. No Quinnen Williams, no Sauce Gardner, loaded up on picks, and you still get a win? That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool if you're a Jets fan. It's pretty sad if you're a Browns fan, but what can we realistically expect out of the Browns? The Browns are currently starting a 4th-round quarterback. This is not starting Jackson Dart, your 1st-round pick. Even if you want to argue that the Giants initially reached on Jackson Dart, this is your 4th-round quarterback is starting in a National Football League game. That is no bueno. I think the stupidest thing the Browns ever did was trade Joe Flacco. What the hell was the point of that? Why did you get rid of Joe Flacco? To start Dylan Gabriel? This is nothing against Dylan Gabriel. Frankly, I really liked Dylan Gabriel in college. But there's something to be said, whether he was 3rd or 4th round, I don't even know or remember. But there's something to be said about it, the talent of a quarterback to fall that late and then to just start him. I don't know. I think it's a very weird call. I think the Browns absolutely should have kept Flacco or tried to acquire a different veteran so that the rookies, whether it's Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur, can learn behind them. Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks. Dude, there were 2 games that ended 44-22. How on earth were there 2 games that ended 44-22? This is like an inconceivable score anyway. This is a cinema score anyway. And it happened on both the late slate games. Let's talk about it. Arizona Cardinals looked like utter dog shit. And that wasn't, it was mainly because the Seahawks defense played so good. DeMarcus Lawrence had 2 touchdowns. DeMarcus Lawrence had 2 touchdowns. Put that in perspective. DeMarcus Lawrence had more touchdowns than like 80% of the offensive threats that you consider to be good. Isn't that crazy? Dude, George Halani got a touchdown. One thing, you know what the Seattle Seahawks hate more than anything? Giving Kenneth Walker the football for a fucking touchdown. George Halani, I don't even know who that is. Who are you, bro? George Halani gets a red zone touchdown snap. There must be a coup. There is somebody in this organization hates Kenneth Walker and Kenneth Walker fantasy managers. The general manager of the Seattle Seahawks plays against Kenneth Walker every single week somehow. How does George Halani get a red zone touchdown and not Kenneth Walker? Regardless, this is a fucking hilarious game. If I told you that the Seattle Seahawks had 44 points, what would you say Sam Darnold did? What would you say Jackson Smith and Jigba did? What would you say any of these people did? It didn't matter because they literally strip-sacked Jacoby Brissett. They got so many defensive points. Cardinals played from behind this entire game. It was an exciting game if you're like a fantasy football player and you have the Cardinals, anybody. Trey McBride was unbelievable. Marvin Harrison Jr. punched in a touchdown. This is simply because they were losing the entire game and the Seattle barely had to play offense at all. On offense, Seattle just handed the fucking ball off and chewed the clock. And on defense, they scored like 21 points. Horrifying game. Cardinals are in piss. Jacoby Brissett looks shockingly good. He did get strip sacked twice, and that doesn't show up in this box score here. So I don't want to be a box score merchant. But what's going to happen when Kyler Murray's off IR? Kyler Murray is in a super weird spot in the National Football League right now. What I hope for Kyler Murray is that he gets traded. I hope the Arizona Cardinals extract value from Kyler Murray and he goes to a team like, let's say, the Cleveland Browns, where Kyler Murray would obviously be the better starter here and can hopefully have a resurgence in his career. Kyler Murray is way too talented to be sucking ass. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone. I'll keep defending him. I have no qualms with continuing to defend him. Detroit Lions, Washington Commanders. So many good things came out of this game. We looked amazing. This is kind of what I was talking about with the Lions. When we're shitting on a team, we look so good. So unbelievably good, unstoppably good. We look like the best team in the league. When it's a close game, that's when things start to get spooky. Jared Goff, efficient, 3 touchdowns, amazing. Jahmyr Gibbs, amazing. David Montgomery looked good too. J-Mo looked incredible. Dan Campbell called offensive plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown looked incredible. Laporta looked incredible. We got Khalif Raymond involved. When he's getting 4 for 50, you know things are looking good for the Detroit Lions. My favorite play from this was Amon-Ra St. Brown scores a touchdown. Donald Trump was in attendance. Guys, I had no idea Donald Trump was fucking in attendance for this game. I was just listening to the game while I was working. And then I just hear Donald Trump in my ears. And I'm like, what? Did I fucking scroll onto like an AI meme overview of this on accident? And I look over and there he is yapping. I think he has something to do with the creation of the Washington's new stadium. I have been to Washington's current stadium. It is the shittiest stadium in existence. That's nothing against their fans or their program. Washington Commanders, with Jaden Daniels, I love a lot of people on that team. Their stadium fucking sucks. That is an objective truth. So it's cool. I guess they're rebuilding it. I don't know what he has to do with it, but they're rebuilding it somehow. Amon-Ra scores a touchdown and then does the Donald Trump dance. He points to Donald Trump up in a booth and does the Donald Trump dance. And then he gets in a fight with the Commanders player who gets ejected. Hilarious sequence. I gotta find it. Amon-Ra St. Brown pointed at President Trump's seats and did his signature dance. He's looking for him, trying to find him, and then he hits it. Genuinely hilarious, dude. This, for the record, if you're stupid enough to make this political and give a shit about that, just shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Nobody in this comment section cares. I don't give a shit about your politics, and nobody does, bro. It's funny. Just shut up. Nobody gives a fuck. This was what was funny about it, though. I don't know if it's related, but, they're dancing, whatever. I think this is it Daron Payne? Is it Daron Payne right here? Regardless, Amon-Ra St. Brown's talking shit to somebody, winds up and gives him the punch. Dude, you gotta be so pissed off to punch somebody, even open hand slap to a helmet. Your hand always loses this battle. You just have to be so pissed off. Obvious ejection, you're out of there. I mean, I get it. It's a tough, high adrenaline, high testosterone sport. And we don't know what they were talking about in there. But, dude, you're ejected every time for that. So I hope it was worth it. That's all I say. I don't even, I really don't ever even get mad at players for, fighting or scrapping. But if you get to the point of getting ejected, it better have been worth it, bro. Because you're genuinely hurting your team. That's the thing, is your whole team suffers. He's a starter, and he's really good. Your whole team suffers when you get ejected. That's the only time it crossed the line. Talk shit all you fucking want, bro. Talk shit all you want. But yeah, really good game. I mean, what do you really expect out of the Commanders without Jaden Daniels? Jaden Daniels elevated that team so much. Certain quarterbacks truly elevate their team beyond means. And Jaden Daniels is one of those quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson is one of those quarterbacks. And that's why the Ravens are rolling and the Commanders are struggling. What do you expect? I gotta glaze a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs looked stupid fast. And the Commanders, I mean, this never should be a touchdown, for the record. We should never score that touchdown. That's playoff football. We never score that. I do think that there was a level of, the reason we kind of ran up the score in this game and kept going, there was definitely a level of, anger from last year's playoffs. I don't think that this game goes this way at all if we did not lose to them in the wild card last year. We got embarrassed in Ford Field in the wild card last year, and I know the Lions players remember that, but we have a fully healthy, stacked roster, and they do not. And we were excited to shit on them. I don't think this score goes like this or our play calling goes like this if we're not pissed off about that. I think this would have been a much more tame game otherwise. I also don't think there'd be any ejections. 49ers, Los Angeles Rams, disgusting game, pushing Matthew Stafford absolutely closer to MVP territory. Once again, do the Rams and the Niners have beef? Is there some Rams-Niners rivalry that I'm not aware of? Because Sean McVay was play calling pissed off. 100%. They were trying to embarrass this Niners team. There must be unspoken beef that I don't understand, because the Los Angeles Rams in this game at multiple times could have slowed down the pace of the game, used some clock, and just ended it because they were scoring at will. They were not turning the ball over. They were playing ridiculously well, and they just kept fucking going. Devontae Adams scored. Puka Nacua scored. Colby Parkinson and the third-string tight end Davis Allen scored. The play-action game was unbelievable. Kyron Williams looked great. Even Blake Corum was getting some serious touches. For the San Francisco 49ers, holy shit, Mac Jones is playing so good. 33 for 39, incredibly efficient football, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. If Mac Jones does that for you, you lose this game because of your defense. You lose this game because of your defense because this team is decimated. They have none of their talent left. Everybody is injured. It's just very unfortunate for the San Francisco 49ers. Someone was pissed at me that I didn't call them the most unlucky team. Look, dude, you're still 6-4, and Mac Jones is playing out of his mind. If this was a shitty, unlucky team, you would have horrible quarterback play. I think the Niners are doing above and beyond what is expected of them right now. It is just a bummer how many quarterbacks have gone down, but this was very interesting. And I really, really liked this insight. Tom Brady said that the 49ers should start quarterback Mac Jones, even with Brock Purdy healthy. You got to go with the hot hand. That's what Tom Brady said when he was asked if he thinks Mac Jones should remain QB1 even after Purdy returns. Yes, you stay with him. I mean, I gotta believe that's why I'm still sitting here today, because the New England Patriots went with me, the hot hand, about 25 years ago. I mean, what do you guys really expect me to say? He was being kind of funny about it, but he was basically like, yeah, you know, when somebody steps in and has the hot hand, how do you bench them? He's playing out of his mind. Well, guess what? This is so full circle. This is like the lion eats the tail. You know, there's some metaphor in here that I don't know because I'm a stupid fucking idiot. But the Niners shelled out a bunch of draft picks for Trey Lance. Trey Lance was supposed to be playing. Trey Lance supposed to be this. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a fraud. Well, then Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy comes in, plays his heart out, plays incredible, and he's the hot hand and he starts. So Brock Purdy had the, oh, I'm the hot hand treatment, now I'm the starter. Are they going to do the same thing with Mac Jones? I think the difference is that Brock Purdy has consistently played at a high level for San Fran, so they probably want him to come back. But holy shit, Mac Jones playing super well. It will be very interesting to see what happens here. I expect them to start Brock Purdy. That's what I expect, but we'll see what happens. Steelers-Chargers was a super ugly game. It always feels like the true primetime final game is the shittiest. I don't know why, but dude, if Lions, Commanders, or Seahawks, Cardinals, I guess neither of those games were really good games, but they were a good watch. This game was kind of a snooze fest. And I feel like the Steelers do this, dude. The Steelers offense does this. Now, I will say one big thing I got to say. Last week, you know, people were talking about how the Steelers at the trade deadline should have sought out a wide receiver. And I remember thinking, like, no. I like their wide receivers. I like Calvin Austin. I like Roman Wilson. I like DK Metcalf. Steelers wide receivers looked like dog shit in this game. Dog shit. They so desperately needed another option. Absolutely. Bro, Aaron Rodgers threw 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions was a pass that legitimately bonked straight off of Calvin Austin's hands and into a defender's hands. Aaron Rodgers was pissed, understandably. This was a shit game for the Steelers. I was pissed off personally at their wide receiving core. I didn't care who won this game, and I was just watching it like, wow, this game sucks. It'd be very nice if any of these wide receivers could separate. Fuck it. DK Metcalf couldn't separate from a telephone pole. It was unbelievable. I love that saying. Sorry, I overuse it. It's so goated. Kamani Vidal actually looked pretty good. This guy has really stepped up in the absence of Amari and Hampton. Ladd McConkey looked super good. The Great White Hope. 4 receptions, 170 yards, and a touchdown. My goat. Keenan Allen broke the Chargers' all-time record for receptions, previously held by Antonio Gates. This is so funny. This is exactly what I would do if I was trying to get a reception in Wheel of Mutt and I was trying to cheese the fuck out of it. Look at this play that they run. They run jet touch pass. So they're like, how do we give him the freest, risk-free reception to break this record? Which, you know, and I would shit-talk it. But it got like 9 yards. I mean, at this point, everyone's kind of given up because this game's over, but that's how you set the record. I love it. I would do the same thing in Wheel of Mutt. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Antonio Gates' record beaten by 1, and Keenan Allen's not going anywhere. He's going to keep running past this record. So that's exciting to see. Let's talk about some of the big highlights because there was some really, really good ones. I am really excited for the Bears. Oh, Dunze's developing. Luther Burden has looked really good. They don't go to Luther Burden a lot. But he looks really good. I like the future of the Chicago Bears. And they're playing well. They got a great record. They're looking good. Yeah, Texans won this game, you guys. 29-10. They may get 29-36. That's a crazy fall apart. The Texans learned from the Broncos' fourth quarter shit. Yep. Davis Mills, my Pookie Bear. You are my hero. We're so back. I love Davis Mills. I love Danielle Hunter. I love the Houston Texans. Exciting W. Always an exciting W. Jets got the Browns to jump off sides to win this game.
Are you kidding?
Armand Membu starts grittying right in your face. That's probably punch-worthy. At that point, you punch him in the face and just take the ejection. Super Bowl loading? Yeah, fucking 5 years down the line is right. Power of friendship-ass team. Someone put it on God, the Jets will go to... Shut up. I've seen enough. Send them to the Super Bowl. Probably the most Jets way to win. I'm loving this Jets team. All right, you know what? I respect the delusion. I really, really do. Got to get some Drake May glaze in there. How can we go without some Drake May glaze? Sorry, I'm doing a couple pauses here so that they don't lap me. Mr. Matt Collins. Why is Drake May so good? Why is Drake May so good? He's so damn good. I remember at the start of this season, I said Drake May looks like the best quarterback out of his class, and everyone jumped on my ass, tore it apart, got all up in there. No, MMG, you stupid casual fucking fraud. What now, bro? What now? You want to call me MM casual when I say some stupid-ass shit 80% of the video? Okay. How about you acknowledge when a homosexual clock is straight once a day? How about you acknowledge this gay clock, fraud? I said Drake May was the best quarterback, and it's like, oh, Jaden Daniels exists, bro. Bo Nix exists, bro. Does bro even know what class he's in, bro? Shut the fuck up. I was right about something. Acknowledge me, fraud. That's the regular season MVP leader right there. Caleb Williams rushing touchdown. This is what sealed the deal against the New York Giants. No quarterback is more clutch right now. This dude is the real deal. Say what you want about Caleb, but the dude is clutch. Caleb Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Caleb is the most clutch quarterback in the league. I've seen enough build the statue. Yeah, this was nasty. 2nd and 8. Great play action fake. Got Brian Burns lost in the sauce. Takes a spectacular angle. Unbelievable. It's really more unbelievable that the Giants choked that away, if I'm being for real. Exciting to see this, too. Breece Hall, like, very famously wanted out so bad. He wanted out of the Jets so bad. He said, trade me, please, for the love of God. They said, nah, buddy. Enjoy prison. And he still gets tutty. The Justin Fields experiment needs to be over. No, don't give up on Justin Fields. Don't give up on Justin Fields. Breece Hall's, yeah, you know, this is a good theory. Breece Hall's going to do everything in his power to prevent the Jets from the first overall pick since they didn't trade him. I like that thought. It's an interesting thought. And guess who, baby? If we're going to talk shit about Tua, we're going to talk shit about Tua and his arm. What about when Tua throws a 55-yard bomb on the money against the Bills to Jalen Waddle? I'm a Bills fan, but with everything Tua's gone through psychosomatically, I'm happy when he can still be productive. Psychosomatically, bro? What do you all want us to, you want us to clap? Want us to clap for you, bro, because you wrote a big word in the Instagram comments? I'm pissed off at you for that, man. How about you just said everything he's gone through mentally? Could have said the same fucking thing, but you just want a big... I'm pissed. You pissed me off. You pissed me off. All right. Jonathan Taylor is him times 1,000,000. Just give him the MVP already. He's not going to get it. If only MVP wasn't a quarterback award. Yeah. MVP should be renamed Best Quarterback. MVQ, Most Valuable Quarterback. Shit, man. Shit. Imagine in the NBA that the NBA's MVP only goes to point guards. Imagine it only goes to small forwards. Only a center can win it. Stupid ass. I know, I'm not being for real. Like, he can literally win it. It's just he can't, you know? Sauce Gardner and his new threads. You know what's crazy? It looks really good on him. It looks accurate. It doesn't look cursed. You know, sometimes you see a player in their New Jersey and you're like, that's cursed. This doesn't look cursed. In fact, it looks like this is probably how it should have been. It felt cursed looking at him in a Jets jersey. I think he belongs on a good team. Hey! He's already got handshakes. He loves it there. 2 first-rounders. Yeah, no, Jets for sure won the trade. I will say it's very unorthodox to trade 2 first-rounders for a corner. That's pretty unorthodox. It's hard to evaluate what this will be. The thing is when you think about trades, there's 2 ways to think about it. Could either of those 2 first-rounders turn into a player of his caliber? I feel like the answer might be no. I mean, those 2 first-rounders, if they're from the Indianapolis Colts, are going to be late first-rounders. Are you ever going to get a Sauce Gardner talented corner in those late of rounds? I mean, if you got really lucky, maybe. I don't think it's a bad trade. I think people really want to say, like, they paid too much. I don't know that I agree. I guess we're going to find out, though. Yeah, that looks sick. That shit looks fire. I missed Thursday Night Football. Only game I didn't talk about. 7 to 10. Gigantic snooze fest. I tell you what, man. Why do primetime games suck? I want the banger games to be the primetime games. Whoever scheduled this, you're fired. Why did you even schedule this? You knew this was going to suck. And it did. Las Vegas Raiders at Denver Broncos. Broncos looked horrible. Broncos very realistically could have lost this game. It's just that the Raiders are so bad that they lost it too. This is the battle of who wants to lose less, and the Broncos want to lose less. Does that make any sense to anyone? All right. Ugly game, super high wins in Denver, so I'll give some, like, excuse to it is difficult to throw the football in that much weather, but this game just sucked. The Raiders' leading receiver was Tyler Lockett. Going into this game, Tyler Lockett had like 3 receptions. Horrible game. Even Brock Bowers couldn't get much going. Trey Tucker did nothing. Nobody did anything. What do I have to say about this game? It sucked. Here's what I'll say. I don't think the Denver Broncos are a very good 8-2 team. I would take any other team. Like, there are so many. I would take the Detroit Lions over the Denver Broncos any day of the week. We're 6-3. They're 8-2. This record means nothing to me. I think the Denver Broncos are frauds. I'm just going to say it. I think the Denver Broncos defense is very, very good, but I think they are frauds. I don't see this team making a late playoff push at all. I am a hater, and I'll just say it. Also, this is just a hilarious stat, so we have to talk about it. Top 20 players in scoring this season. This is not fantasy. This implies literal points scored by the player. Jonathan Taylor, number 1, followed by 19 kickers. Is that not insane? And this guy won't win MVP. And he won't be allowed to get NFL MVP because they have to give it to a quarterback. Saquon doesn't win MVP last year, then there's no way he gets it this year. Hoping he gets it, though. I mean, statistically, he is having a better year than Saquon was having last year. Like, he is on pace to have a better year, and he currently is having a better year, but it still doesn't matter. To think that the Colts didn't want to pay him a couple years ago. No one wants to pay their running backs, man. It's Taylor's oldest time. All right, gentlemen, that's a beautiful recap. Week 10 was fucking sick. Week 10 was awesome. I don't even know what my favorite game is, but if I had to rank them, Falcons Colts was an excellent watch. Bears comeback was sick. Dolphins beating the Bills was just comical. It was funny to watch that. Houston's comeback was probably the most electric, seeing that they really did it. Patriots over the Buccaneers was a big game. Seattle Seahawks was hilarious watch. And the Lions beating the Commanders, I always love to see that. I love you. Thanks for watching as always. And one thing I want to say at the end of this video is if you're going through anything right now, you're feeling like shit, you're feeling depressed, despair, guilt because of something that happened to you or something you did, I just want you to know that the way that you're feeling is not permanent. In the future, you'll be able to look back on this moment and realize that that's not who you were, that's just how you felt. And tomorrow is always guaranteed. Tomorrow is always there. You just got to show up for it. So the way you're feeling is temporary, and it'll be exciting in the future to look back and realize that it doesn't have a hold on you forever. Either way, I love you. You're so handsome, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. I keep trying to remember to use this scene because it looks cool. Okay, you're so handsome. Peace.